So in this video we're going to be looking at Dungeon Destard. It is located just at the bottom of the map here. It's right by the Scarra Mountains, and the closest town is Scarabray. However, if you want to get there easily, at Britannia there's usually a vendor house that has teleporters to all the dungeons in them, or recall rooms to all the dungeons in them. So that's the easiest way to get here. With that in mind, here's the entrance. Dungeon Destard is generally known as the Dragon Dungeon, although it has demons in it, as well as serpents and ifrits as well. I'm not sure how to say that one. It's quite a difficult dungeon. The dragons are pretty hard, and they don't generally drop great loot, so you won't see a lot of people farming dragons. However, sometimes people do. As you can see here, this first area in the main room is just drakes and dragons, as well as a few giant serpents you can see around here, and wyverns. Generally not a very good place to farm. They have too much HP and don't drop enough gold to really make it worth people's time, so it's not going to be a heavy place to see a lot of people farming. There's also some water elementals here in this northeast corner of the main room, but again, not a great area. There's two things that people will generally do in this dungeon in terms of farming, and that is the greater dragons and then the demons. So if you want to get to the greater dragons, it's just a matter of going back to this far north area in the main room. They're incredibly difficult mobs to kill, so just be prepared for that. They have a lot of HP, but they also drop a lot of gold. So if you can manage to kill them, they do pay out quite well. They share the same spawn tables as the dragons and drakes and wyverns in this area, so if you're farming this area and you want to kill greater dragons only, you will actually need to clear out all these drakes. There is a place to res here, a shrine if you die, as well. It's just hiding behind this little water elementals here. And then the other big great feature of this back room is there's actually some demons and evil mages that spawn in the back. And those are good for not necessarily gold, but they drop veil shards, which are worth a lot of money. They're selling for about 2,000 gold per piece, or per veil shard that you get. So a lot of people will farm them back here. As well, there's a little secret room. If you see these mushrooms here, you can hop into them, and there's demons and evil mages in this back room as well. So that is the main room. And then if we go to the opposite side of the Destard dungeon, and this is a bit of a journey, we will get down to where the main room is for farming demons and evil mages, as well as shadow worms. Shadow worms are not quite as hard as greater dragons, and they're harder than dragons, and they drop gold in between that. So it's also a pretty fun area to farm. So, if you want to know how to get to this part, you generally, if you're coming from the entrance, you just need to go straight west. And that'll take you to this area here. There's some giant serpents here. Normally you'll just run around through these things, and this will take you down to Destard level 3. And down here we can see there's evil mages as well as shadow worms. So again, the shadow worms share the spawn table with all these reptiles over here. So if you're not seeing any shadow worms, you need to kill all these wyverns and more will spawn. And then we have demons and evil mages in this area. And then the last place in Destard is Destard 4. Now this place spawns a big boss known as the Ancient Worm. It also has ifrits here. And the ifrits are unique in that they don't drop a ton of gold, but they have a very rare chance of dropping demon bone armor, which is a very rare item and sought after thing. So if you want to farm ifrits, it's a great place to try to get that demon bone armor in Destard 4. The other thing about this area is this has the only devious chests in the game. So they normally spawn around here in a circle around this big empty area here. However, it looks like someone has picked them at the time of this video, so there's none up right now. And then a great big ancient wyvern will spawn here about once a day if you're interested in farming that, but generally you'll need many characters to do that, or a group. As well as this rideable pack beetle, which is tameable if you want to tame animals. These things sell decently, not too many of them sell, but if that's your thing and you want to be an animal tamer, you can do that. So with that in mind, that is Destard Dungeon. There's not much else to this. It's a fun place to go. It's definitely not the easiest dungeon to do, but it is a fun one to do.